Okay, hey again, it's Evan, and this is a video about waking up after my stage 1 ALT phalloplasty. So before this, I'd had a few surgeries before, including my hysterectomy in January of this year. But this time, when I woke up, I was rambling, like confused, saying things that didn't really make sense, which I've never had before. I wasn't like coming out with funny things and being crazy like you see with people in these videos, which I think most of the time are probably fake. I'm suspicious. But I kept on about my friend being in hospital and needing food, which didn't really make any sense. But then a few days after that, she did end up getting into an accident and ended up in hospital, and they weren't like giving her food because she had a head injury. So do you think I saw the future? I think it's possible. But yeah, anyway, when I woke up, one of the nurses was trying to show me my results on her phone and like reassuring me that everything went well, and I was trying to look at it, but my eyes were just like crossed, like I just couldn't see right, I couldn't focus my eyes on anything. And the other nurses were saying, oh, it's because he doesn't have his glasses on yet, and they put my glasses on and stuff, but that wasn't it. I just I couldn't see straight because of like the medication and everything. But that was right when I first woke up and was conscious again. After a few minutes, I remember actually being really surprised that I felt quite fresh and myself. Mentally I felt back to normal a lot sooner than with my hysterectomy and top surgery and stuff. And I was given my phone back and everything. Luckily it still had charge because I didn't realise that I wouldn't be going back to my original room. With my top surgery I felt groggy from the anaesthesia for weeks, but with this I didn't feel sick, I didn't feel woozy and dizzy, and I just felt pretty refreshed and I've had a really good sleep. So yeah, at this point I was back in the recovery room, which I actually went to before I was wheeled into the actual surgery theatre, and I was given my phone back and everything. Luckily it still had charge because I didn't realise that I wouldn't be going back to my original room until right when they were taking me down. They were take your phone, so it's lucky that I charged it before then. But yeah, I was able to go on my phone a bit. I had some energy. I was scrolling and messaging people that I was okay and stuff, but then every now and then I would just feel really tired and I could hardly move at all, so I would just decide oh, I'm going to sleep now, and all I could do was move my head like this, and I'd just immediately fall asleep, and then I'd wake back up and go on my phone, and I'd be okay, I'm going back to sleep. Oh no. Most of my pain wasn't actually in the leg of the area where they'd taken the skin, or in my groin area. It was on the backs of my heels and my head. The backs of my heels because I couldn't move my legs and they were rubbing, not hard, but just really irritated from rubbing on the bed. Extremely sore. Both legs, more so the leg that wasn't the one they were operating on. And the back of my head because I'd been laid in one position for so long during the surgery. It felt puffy and really sore to touch, so I was trying to avoid laying on that part. And yeah, I did end up having post-op alopecia, and I now have a big bald spot exactly where it felt puffy, but it is gonna grow back, so it'll be alright. At one point I remember asking if both my legs had been operated on, because I know in most hospitals when they're doing ALT they take the skin from the other leg to cover this leg, but with me I had the plan was to have the thin skin graft taken from the same leg and just move to the side and cover the donor area, which is what they stuck to and did. But when I woke up, because I was finding it so hard to move both legs, I thought that both legs had been operated on, but they hadn't been. Yeah, my whole body just felt so weak, I could hardly move at all. At this point I was being checked on so regularly, constantly. They were in and out, checking my blood pressure, checking the temperature of my penis, and making sure that everything was okay. At that point, because it was being checked so regularly, they weren't bandaging it and unbandaging it. They just left the bandages off. So when I was in the recovery room, every time they lifted the sheet up, I could fully see my results. And my first thought was just such relief that it was the right size, because with ALT, because you have more fat on your thighs. Did I just say fat on your thighs or fat on your thighs? Yeah, because you have more fat on your thighs, it can end up literally that. Obviously I do have skinny legs, so that didn't happen, but it was still a concern. A lot of people do end up having to have debulking to make it smaller, which obviously is more money and you'd have to travel there again and everything, so I was really worried about that. So I was just so relieved that it wasn't really, really huge. Yeah, everyone asked me about like choosing my size and stuff and assumed that I just wanted like the biggest I could get, but I was more concerned, like my biggest concern was it being too girthy. And yeah, I was happy with the length as well, but that wasn't really a concern because it's not accidentally gonna end up like 4 inches too long or too short. And yeah, I was happy with the length too, but I'd already discussed that with my surgeon, so it wasn't really a concern because that's more in his control how much skin he's taking, but he can't control how much fat is under the skin. Yes, so when I saw it wasn't like bleeding or gory or anything like that, it looked very neatly done and everything. My leg was bleeding, like oozing like a little bit at the side onto the bed. I was led on like pad things on the bed sheets, which I then kept on I think for like the whole 2 weeks I was in hospital. So yeah, there was like a little bit of blood, but it wasn't like something out of a horror film, you know. And obviously like the donor site was completely bandaged and covered up and everything. I didn't see that for like a week or more. So I filmed that months ago, and I have absolutely no idea why I really abruptly just stopped filming and then just started filming the next video without finishing this one. Not a clue why. But yeah, basically I had to stay in that recovery room until about 5:30 I think, and I wasn't allowed to eat anything. I just was allowed to have like sips of water. It was like a small half-sized plastic water bottle, and I was sort of holding it, and I remember at one point I like dropped it and it slowly. It's not as if I have fully dropped a water bottle on the area, but it like tapped it, and I was really worried I'd broken it forever. It was going to fall off now, but yeah, it was fine. I'm sure it was a lot more dramatic in my head. But yeah, I stayed in that recovery room until 5:30 just with water, nothing to eat, and I wasn't allowed any visitors. There are other people in the recovery room, like quite far away, and I did have curtains up, I think. Yeah, I'm pretty sure there was curtains. I remember one girl was making some noise and getting the nurse's attention a lot. But yeah, that's about it for this video. I just posted one about going in and being put to sleep for my surgery. Before that, I have one about my consult, and before that I have one about how much it all costs and how I sorted it all out and everything like that. Yeah, I finally got around to editing those videos, so hopefully I'm getting back into it now and I'll be posting more. I still have a lot of topics that I plan to cover. I was going to be posting like 2 videos a week, but that obviously did not work out. Yeah, there'll be lots of links in the description as usual, and if you have any requests or questions or anything, leave them in the comments.